Hey, good morning, Team Tackett. Today we are going to dive into topic 16-4, which is more of graphing number patterns. So this is going to be where we compare two different sets of data and use them to make a coordinate grid, but more formally known as a line graph. So this is actually the type of graph we use the most in science. So it's the type of graph that I personally like the most. I know that a lot of you have experience with bar graphs from your younger days in school, but bar graphs generally just show quantity, whereas a line graph can show change over time. So it's something that we really use when we are calculating results of scientific experiments. So here we go. We're going to look at an example of these regular muffins and the jumbo muffins, and that makes me think of when I go to Sam's Club or Costco. They have those giant muffins that always look so delicious. So we want to think about what is the rule that we are following in this data set. So let's look at our regular muffins first. So in one box of regular muffins, we have 6 muffins. In 2, 12. 3, 18, 4, 24. So what are we adding every single time? We are adding the number 6, right? So we aren't doubling our quantity each time, because I know we do go from 6 to 12, but then we go from 12 to 18. If we were doubling, it would go from 12 to 24. So our rule for our regular muffins would be add 6. So if I needed to figure out how many muffins would be in 5 boxes, I would add 6 to 24, and so on. Let's look at our jumbo muffins and determine what we think the rule is. So we start with one box has 4, then 8, then 12, then 16. So what do you think our rule would be? Well, we're increasing for sure. 4, 8, 12, 16. We're getting bigger each time. So that means we're probably adding. So I would think we are probably adding 4 each time. So if I were to graph this data set, it could look like this. So I've got my regular muffins, and I've got my jumbo muffins. And my title of my graph could be muffins in boxes. And for one box of regular muffins, I would have 6. And I could just keep showing that data trend set. Let's look at another one. This one shows Jill and Robin's earnings, or how much money they make, and then showing their graph over time. So really, all we are doing in these types of problems is we are determining what is our x and what is our y, and then plotting those ordered pairs. So we start with 0, 0, then 5, 15, 10, 30, 15, 45, 20, 60, 25, 75. So these are all things you should already be familiar with from practicing with ordered pairs this week. So the last thing that I would like to share with you before I have you move on to our practice is let's go ahead and fill in these blank numbers of this data set. So we're looking at Joe and Scott and how many songs they've downloaded over a period of 4 days. So what do you think the missing value would be here on day 2 for Joe? So we went from 3, we don't know the next one, 9, and 12. I think it's add 3, so I think it should be 6. Let's look at our next one. We've got 6, 12, blank, then 24. I think it's add 6, so I think we should have 18 there. So be thinking about how you look for those patterns when you're looking at a given data set. So I know this is an example of your practice page today, but really, we're really just practicing the ordered pairs and filling out these data tables. So none of this should be exceptionally tricky for us. It's just a matter of determining what is the rule in that data set. So off you go.